p.m. ruling, and 5 p.m. is when the freeze was supposed to start.
Well, there were a lot of people here on Capitol Hill, Elizabeth, who were expecting this might happen. Some were really hoping that this would happen, that there would be a pause so everybody can take a step back and try to digest what this temporary funding freeze is actually going to mean. I think you set it up perfectly when you talked about, look, this White House, this administration was elected, they feel, with a mandate to try to cut spending and make government more efficient. There are obviously some fair questions about, is this the way to go about doing it? Today, we saw a lot of just uncertainty, and certainly Democrats bring that up right away. They said in the order, because of the language in the memo that you described, which is that funding may freeze for any government program federally funded that doesn't align with the administration's policies or the president's, goals here. That leaves a broad swath of things, and the imagination runs. So Democrats are bringing things up today, like Meals on Wheels, like Head Start, like potentially federally funded veteran housing. All of those things, are they at risk or not? Senators say they were getting calls all day from people in their states asking those kinds of questions. Today, Republicans said, look, let's not overreact to this. This is not a freeze, but what they call it is an audit. We have to go through and see where money is being spent. So those are the two sort of different sides of this. Today, we did catch up with Democratic Senate leader Chuck Schumer, and we asked him, look, are you going to be directly speaking with the Trump administration to get more clarity as to what these things actually mean? This is what he told us.
We're going to communicate with everyone under the sun, and most importantly, with our constituents, and tell them, let your Republican senators know, let your Republican congressmen know that you hate this. They'll feel the heat.
Now, Elizabeth, some Republicans did clearly feel compelled to defend the policy in some ways, but it was also clear that they, too, did have some questions about how this is all going to be playing out. And we heard that from Senate Majority Leader John Thune today as well.
They are clarifying it, and I think this is not unusual for an administration to pause funding and to take a hard look and scrub of how these programs, how they're being spent, and how they interact with a lot of the executive orders that the president signed. And I think that's the main criteria they're using: is does this implicate, do the executive orders implicate funding in this particular way?
So, Elizabeth, clearly they are going to have more time now to try to figure this out, given the courts have put a stop to it.
Clearly. But also there were several elected Republicans who were very critical of this funding freeze for 90 days while they do this audit, including Senator Lisa Murkowski, a couple Republican state governors. So yeah. There was a lot of confusion everywhere about what exactly this means and who's going to be impacted. Joe Khalil, thanks so much. Joining us now is someone who knows all about this. Mick Mulvaney is former director of the Office of Management and Budget under Trump. He's also a News Nation political and economic contributor. Mick, was this whole thing badly handled?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a fascinating first move in an ongoing